Now we play a game.
We got Star Wars Unlimited. We got classic Star Wars games. We got old school D&D, independent RPGs, mini painting, Warhammer, of course, tons of other games. But first, we're gonna need some coffee here on Board Barista Productions. Hey everybody, and welcome to Retro Reviews, a review show where we go through my copious amounts of RPG books, paraphernalia, magazines, one at a time, and to keep me from rambling, we have Laura.
Hey everybody. So what are we reviewing tonight?
Wyrd Science number 7. This is the autumn 2025 edition. So not too retro, just a couple months. Came out back in August.
Okay.
September. No, September, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so this was when you ordered from the website?
Yeah, ordered direct from their IO link. I'll try to find that and put it in the video description, but just order it right from the printing presses directly. So,
what's the title of this? The subtitle?
Oh, the subtitle of this one. You want to read it for him?
Oh, it's science fiction and fantasy in this economy.
So it's really kind of like science fiction and fantasy in this economy?
Yeah, right.
Got some really cool retro art on the cover. So diving in for our first article is ontosgames.co.uk has added, oh yeah, so that's the website you can go to, and they have added bikes to their Og Squats line of minis. So space biking dwarves now go brah, 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 brah. I'll have to put a photo up on here, but I'm going to show Laura the picture from this ones. Just bear with me while you guys are looking at the cool art. So they decided to release a retro version of the squats from Warhammer 40k because now that the what are they called this time around? But anyways, it's the Space Dwarves in Warhammer 40k. Originally they had this whole like Viking biker theme to them. So you can see like the Valkyrie style with like Thor helmets on their leaders. They got like the braided beards. They're very much like Viking Space Dwarves this time around, and I'm like, that looks so cute. I actually might want to get like some of their yeah, I want to actually get some of these minis to use in place of like, because secondhand like third-party minis end up being cheaper than Warhammer 40k minis, and sometimes they have a really cool aesthetic look to them, and I'm like, this actually looks cooler than the ones that are the official minis. So
they are super cool. They're just, and I like how they're also set in like a garden. So it's like, oh, the cute little big bad.
So hardly anybody nowadays does the green bases where you do like a goblin green paint on the edge and then put like the green moss flocking, which is like basically green dyed wood shavings. Like nobody does that anymore. It's all like black and you got like custom 3D printed bases. Like that's a very retro style to have. That.
But doesn't it look like a sweet little garden?
Oh yeah, because they used to put like green felt over a table and play on that. So it really does kind of look cool with the old school style cactus terrain. Yeah. All right. Next up, EP 1320 Medieval. So yeah, they actually have like an ad, like it's kind of cool that they actually have like ads for some of the like weird cool stuff that you can pick up. This was actually another one I'm gonna have to like put some photos up, but it's a synthesizer that is designed to have like pre-built sounds for like medieval style sound. So you got like chains rattling and Viking horns and stuff like that. So you can actually make like techno music with the different sound effects.
Like techno castle castle.
Castle type stuff. Yeah.
I think that band would really like that.
Castle Rat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're like 70s like metal / like 80s glam rock kind of vibe. They're not really a techno kind of people, but I thought that was kind of cool that there's actually a synthesizer out there. Like, I have thought about getting a synthesizer and doing some stuff like that before. Like, if I was to actually go down that rabbit hole, I would probably try to get my hands on a medieval synthesizer. So let's dive into, like, let's get out of the loot drop stuff
and into like actual
and
articles.
into actual articles. So we have Playing in the Shadow of the Bomb. It's an article on the impact of the Cold War on tabletop RPGs in the 80s. So it's kind of cool because you had this whole thing of like the post-apocalyptic games in the 80s that were coming out, where all like these USA and Russia have finally nuked each other, and now you're in this Mad Max post-apocalyptic wasteland with radioactive fallout. So the Cold War was on everybody's mind, and then after, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down these walls, and you started having to, like, Russia and the US stop the Cold War, mostly because Russia went bankrupt. But anyways, you start having your post-apocalyptic movies where all like zombie apocalypse and the banks all went belly up and now there's no money and everybody's going crazy.
Yeah.
Or
the grid went down.
The grid went down, or the coronal mass flare. All the conspiracy theories like went, and you have like all these flavors of post-apocalyptic instead of like Russia's gonna attack. And that was such a huge part of like 80s pop culture. I mean, one of my favorite political sci-fi movies is Red Dawn, where the US gets invaded by Russia and China. And that actually is inspired by the Philip K. Dick novel, The Man in the High Tower, which is the alternate history where the Axis won World War II and the Allies lost, and America got divvied up between Germany and Japan.
I think they made a TV series.
They made a TV series about that. And, I'm working on Flip, and Flip is very much in that vein of like 80s sci-fi and fantasy. And I really want to dive into that. So this whole idea of like, the Russians actually still got the nukes aimed at us. I was actually at like the Loring Air Force Base like a couple times, and I was like, when I was there, I was like, I wonder if the Russians still got a nuke pointed at this place. Kind of thing, like, how would it have been like to actually be here back in the 80s? So
yeah, I'm sure like the paranoia must have been high.
Which is another like big theme that was in 80s RPGs, was that paranoia, something's gonna happen, kind of thing. That I think we've lost over the years a bit. Next article, Through the Hedgerow, a time travel RPG set in Britain. You battle the forces of darkness in one of 4 classic eras. You have the Age of Swords, which is like the King Alfred. There's knights going across the country.
Alfred?
Because Arthur is a fictional character, and Robin Hood was the Crusades, and they wanted something that was actually that whole like actual historical time period.
Okay.
The next age is the Age of Plagues, when the Black Plague was going across Europe. The third age is the Age of Steel, which is the Industrial Revolution. And then the Age of Thunder, the Blitz. So, and basically there's these dark, mysterious forces, and you gotta, they're trying to change the timeline in one of these 4 eras that would cause drastic ripples throughout the rest of them. So they're like,
right.
Next article is an interview with Tammy Nichols about Oldhammer and the love of retro DIY gaming. So Tammy Nichols, I believe, if I'm correct in looking at this, I just want to pull up the pacha.
I should like bookmark these.
I know I should. I really should. But yeah, it's basically talking about like that retro aesthetic. So it's building into with the rest of the magazine where you're talking about those old second edition style Space Dwarves and the because it's kind of cool to like nowadays you can go to the store, you can buy your terrain, and you can go and 3D print a custom mini, but to actually sit there and be like, okay, the terrain that you used to use for wargaming, it was just like upcycled. Like when I take the packing peanuts and the cardboard boxes and I build stuff out of it.
Yeah.
And that was such a big part of that DIY. I'm building everything I need for the game, and then like custom, taking a bunch of your extra mini pieces and putting them together, cutting them and.
Is that not so common anymore?
It's not so common anymore because if you want a mini, you're just like, just 3D print it. You can go on websites and design your minis, and they'll give you the 3D printing files for you to go with.
Like some people still doing like that.
There's still an old. That's why the old hammer movement is using the older models, doing a lot more kit bashing, making your own molds of stuff, and really being like, I'm making this myself, DIY. Type thing at gaming is still done a lot. Triangle Agency is the topic of the next one. It's an interesting RPG where you're working for a secret agency to control people with powers. So basically, it's like a CIA that goes around and like keeps control of people with like superpowers. The agency gifts these people with 3 options. They can die. Be locked up, or they can become an agent themselves in order to make sure that other bad people aren't.
I guess, of course, if you're going to have someone to control someone with superpowers, you're going to need someone with superpowers.
Looking at it, it felt very much like the Boys TV series, the one I watched about the people with superpowers, and they're just like regular people.
Yeah.
And some of them are raging assholes, and some of them are really nice.
Yeah.
And the boys are like taking care of all the problematic superheroes. This would be more like if the Boys was actually more governmentally sponsored to keep control, and the supers weren't running around and like, I'm a superhero, I have a fan base. It's like, no, stop them before they do that, before we can't lock them up.
That's an interesting premise.
Alright, next one article is talking about Wyrd Science Volume 1. No, the other Wyrd Science, W-I-E-R-D, not W-Y-R-D, like the magazine. That was the 1950s comic book. So they have started getting those comic books and collecting them into omnibuses. So big, thick, like 2-3 inch tomes of comics.
Why is it an omnibus, not an omnibook? Why a bus?
Because that's what they call a collection of not like words, not prose. If it's prose, it's omnibook. Actually, I think it's omnibus just means a giant collection.
Wouldn't that be an anthology?
No, because anthologies usually aren't connected. Or they have a similar thread. They're not like a collection of things.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. And I would really want to pick this up just to study the art, because it is that old heavy black and white line drawings, the very simple color palette art. So I'm like, that's something I'm starting to get into with working on my stuff for Flip. I really want to study that a bit more.
Yeah.
Next article, Exterminate, Regenerate. It's an outsider, non-BBC, or it's neither. It's like, so it's not BBC, not put up by the BBC. It's not fan fiction. So the person who's writing this is not a big fan of it, and it's not like, ooh, I'm writing about, it's not a fan writing about it. And they're not officially sponsored. It's a deep dive into the history of Doctor Who and its effect on British culture.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that might actually be a cool Christmas present to get for Sam. So hopefully, Sam, you're not watching. Don't expect it. I'm thinking about it. Watch the video, Sam. Next article, Prismatic Wisdom. It's collections of the blog of Ernie award-winning game designer W.F. Smith. So the book is actually called Prismatic Wisdom. It's 5 years in tips and tricks for old school style gaming. And he just took like 5 years worth of his blog post and was just like, book form. Here you go. I think that one actually is something I plan on picking up for the gaming theory library.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, also something for you to look at for when you get to a point with your blog where you're like, you can kind of look at the structure of how they went and turned blog posts into an actual book.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Next article is Burrows and Badgers. Is a game. We played Kill Team before. Basically, Kill Team is where you just play like small groups. So it's like somewhere between like 6 to 14 minis you have per team. You're on a table about the size of our kitchen table, and you're going through buildings trying to fight each other in sci-fi war. Laura has her kitty army, which is the meows, but they're Taos with cat people heads on them, and I have basically all my other 40k armies I have a Kill Team for. But we haven't played in a long time. We need to play again.
We do.
But you might be more interested in playing this game because Burrows and Badgers is Kill Team with cute and fuzzy animal people in medieval times. So instead of being, I know you got sci-fi. This is fantasy.
Okay. Can I still use my kitties?
You can still use kitties. There'll probably be like, but this time you don't have to have just kitties. Like you can have a kitty and a fox and a raccoon, and you can like mix and match.
Can you also have like unicorns and fairies?
Maybe unicorns. I'm not sure about the fairies because it's all anthropomorphic. But if there's a horse thing, I can definitely glue a horn to its head and you can call it a unicorn.
Okay.
Alright. But no, the minis in it look really cool. Next article, Magic Realms. It's the art of fighting fantasy. It's an art book collecting the art used in fighting fantasy novels. So the fighting fantasy novels were kind of like a British choose-your-own-adventure. If I'm understanding this correct, if I'm wrong, leave it in the comment section below. But it was like one of the ways that a lot of British RPG and fantasy fans got into the gaming genre because they'd read these fighting fantasy things and be like, oh. And if I'm not quite sure, because I think it was like 20 years ago at a used bookstore. I believe I picked up a copy of it and I thought it was really cool because the book actually had you roll dice to find out where you were going with everything. So I was like, was that a fighting fantasy or not? But I've heard a lot of...
it was like a choose your own adventure,
but with random.
Interesting.
I believe that's what I'm thinking, if I'm remembering everything correctly, but I'm human. So if somebody else out there knows a lot more about the fighting fantasy, you can write me a full like essay down in the comment section below.
Actually, here's how it is.
Actually, you can give me an actually. Next up is Cardboard Ghost. So another gaming theory book that I want to get that talks about using games to model and critique systems, such as violence and oppression. So definitely like looking at like, you know, systemic violence and oppression systems.
So if someone was like doing a literary criticism paper on gaming,
or how to use gaming to express the ideas in their literary criticism paper. So I'm like, this seems interesting. It piqued my interest.
Yeah, I'm like a bit of a literary criticism nerd, so that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Next is Outside the Box. It's a history of Swedish gaming, its gaming culture and influence on the world. So we have Mutant Year Zero is a very popular RPG that came out of Sweden. Another is Dake och Demono. I don't speak Swedish. And I'd probably use a German accent for that.
I was going to say that sounded more like you're trying to speak German there, but I also don't speak Swedish.
So, but the translation for that is dragons and is dragons and demons, which was a very popular alternative to Dungeons and Dragons published in Sweden because they couldn't get the rights to actually bring like D&D back in the day into Sweden. So somebody homebrewed their own, like they've got some idea what D&D was and made their own. Like it started in the, and a lot of that all started in the fanzines in Sweden, kind of fans talking with each other, passing notes back and forth, and then these games evolved out of it. Mutant was a very popular sci-fi in the same veins of like After the Bomb, Ninja Turtles, and it's the first TSR game. I reviewed one of them on here. It's like their sci-fi one where you're on a generational starship and everybody's mutated because radiation leaks. But Mutant was like really cool, and it's kind of cool to see like how Sweden stuff kind of like got big and came over and influenced stuff.
We should go to Sweden.
We should. Next article is Across the Board. It's another gaming theory book. This one looks at the history, evolution, and significance of games and how this is important to being a human. So I'm like, ooh, that's definitely a book to put on the to get list.
Yeah.
And the last thing that stood out in the magazine for me was Othership. It's a one-page double-sided hack of the game Mothership to make it be like rules light, able to kind of do as like a one-shot adventure with everybody. So it has like very simplified down. But Mothership it's printed as a zine, so that's like their rule book is like core rule book is 48 pages. So it's a little, it's chunky and it's got all the cool stuff in there. But this is like, here's a one-page game, and I'm a real big fan of these one-page games because they're easy just to like slap something together with friends, sit down. Real beer and pretzels game night. And this one's the whole, you're on the alien ship and an alien trying to hunt down an alien before it kills everybody.
Yeah, that's totally your kind of thing.
So yeah, no, that is Wyrd Science number 7. I would definitely recommend getting it. There's a lot more articles I didn't cover in here, and just having some stuff outside of your normal gaming comfort zone, seeing stuff from other parts of the world and how they're doing it, and other play styles. Like this is really, these magazines have really been like a gold mine of ideas. They talk a lot about the industry, so there's always some tips and tricks in there for people that are like me trying to design their own game and get into the gaming industry. I actually was surprised how much I've learned about like self-publishing and different marketing strategies and stuff that's going on around the world for homebrewed self-published RPGs. So
yeah, that's hopefully helps Flip.
Yeah, if you want to help out Flip and the channel and all that cool stuff, make sure to like, share, subscribe, let YouTube know we're doing a good job. Also, you can join our Patreon. Link is down in the video description. Once you join the Patreon, I give you access to our Discord channel. From there, you can download all the Flip beta test rules as I'm putting them out. So you can get a free copy digital copy for being part of the Patreon. So.
Seems good.
Yep. That's all I got for this week.
I think that's all I got.
Alright. Peace.
Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.